Welcome to the weekly economic highlights, your source for the latest developments in Vietnam's economy, insights from the business community and emerging trends shaping the market landscape. Now, let's take a look at this week's top highlights in economic integration.
Vietnam steps up national trade fairs for market connectivity. Vietnam maintains a trade surplus for 10 consecutive years. Vietnam-Japan trade surpasses 50 billion USD for first time. Vietnam steps up national trade fairs for market connectivity. Vietnam is preparing to organize the National Spring Trade Fair 2026. This will be the second trade fair held at the national scale, following the success of the first National Autumn Trade Fair in November 2025. On the afternoon of January 8th, at the government headquarters, Deputy Prime Minister Bùi Thanh Sơn chaired a meeting to solicit opinions on the proposal for organizing the National Spring Trade Fair 2026. According to the proposal developed under the leadership of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the trade fair is scheduled to take place over 5 days, from February 4th to 8th, 2026, at the Vietnam Exhibition Center (VEC) in Hanoi, under the theme Connecting Prosperity, a Glorious Spring. The trade fair is expected to feature exhibition booths from Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, domestic enterprises and cooperatives, foreign invested enterprises operating in Vietnam, as well as international businesses and partners. Under the proposal, in 2026, Vietnam plans to organize 2 flagship national trade fairs, namely the Spring Trade Fair and the Autumn Trade Fair. In addition, the organization of several thematic trade fairs may be considered based on the practical needs of specific sectors and localities, with the aim of expanding trade promotion space. Regarding preparatory work, Deputy Minister Nguyễn Sinh Nhật Tân stated that the Ministry of Industry and Trade has developed a draft set of organizational regulations and coordination mechanisms to ensure unified, synchronized, and effective implementation of the trade fair. At the same time, the ministry has sent official invitations to provincial and municipal people's committees, industry associations, and the business community to participate in the trade fair, striving to achieve a scale and level of dynamism surpassing the outcomes of the Vietnam Golden Autumn Fair 2025. Under the assigned responsibilities, the Ministry of Industry and Trade serves as the overall lead agency, responsible for consolidating content and coordinating the organization of the trade fair. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism is tasked with overseeing cultural and artistic activities, stage performances, and the festival plays. Industry associations and local authorities will coordinate in organizing exhibition areas showcasing regional specialty products, traditional craft village products, and OCOP, One Commune One Product items. Vietnam maintains a trade surplus for 10 consecutive years. On the afternoon of January 8th in Hanoi, the government office held the regular government press conference on the socio-economic development situation in December, the 4th quarter, and the full year of 2025. The press conference was chaired by Minister Chairman of the Government Office Trần Văn Sơn. Attending the event were representatives of leaders from ministries and agencies, along with a large number of reporters and editors from central and local news agencies and press outlets. Opening the press conference, Minister Chairman of the Government Office Trần Văn Sơn, the government spokesperson, stated that earlier the same morning, the government convened a nationwide online conference to review the performance of 2025 and deploy tasks for 2026 of both the government and local administrations. The year 2025 and the 5-year period 2021 to 2025 unfold under exceptional circumstances, amid global uncertainties, where challenges and difficulties outweighed opportunities and favorable conditions. Nevertheless, Vietnam successfully achieved all 15 out of 15 major targets for 2025 and met or exceed 22 out of 26 key socio-economic indicators for the 2021 to 2025 period, recording 8 notable achievements. In particular, macroeconomic stability was maintained in the context of significant global volatility, clearly demonstrating the resilience of the national economy. Accordingly, macroeconomic conditions remained stable, with GDP growth in the fourth quarter of 2025 estimated at 8.46% year-on-year. For the whole year of 2025, GDP growth is estimated at 8.02%. Of this, the agriculture, forestry, and fisheries sector grew by 3.78%, industry and construction by 8.95%, and services by 8.62%. Regarding foreign direct investment (FDI), as of December 31, 2025, total registered FDI capital in Vietnam reached USD 38.42 billion, up 0.5% compared to previous year, while realized FDI capital was estimated at USD 27.62 billion, an increase of 9%. In terms of production and business activities, the industry and trade sector recorded many impressive figures. Notably, merchandise import and export activities for the whole year of 2025 were estimated to exceed USD 930 billion, up 18.2% year-on-year, of which exports increased by 17% and imports by 19.4%. The merchandise trade balance posted a surplus of USD 20.02 billion. Industrial production for the entire year was estimated to grow by 9.2% compared to the same period last year. Specifically, the manufacturing and processing sector rose by 10.5%, mining by 0.5%, electricity production and distribution by 6.7%, and water supply, waste management and wastewater treatment activities by 7.8%. Vietnam has maintained a trade surplus for 10 consecutive years. At the press conference, representatives of various ministries and agencies also promptly respond to journalists' questions related to growth targets, lessons learned in developing infrastructure systems and expressways, assignments of the economy's double-digit growth prospects, outcomes of the Quang Trung campaign, solutions to environmental pollution, and social security policies. Regarding a question on ensuring safety and security for the organization of the 14th National Congress of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Major General Nguyễn Quốc Toản, Chief of the Office of the Ministry of Public Security, stated that up to this point, security and safety measures for the Congress have basically been implemented in a serious and thorough manner. Looking ahead, in order to achieve the target of double-digit economic growth from 2026 and in subsequent periods, the Prime Minister emphasized the need to focus on restructuring the economy and establishing a new growth model based on science and technology, innovation, and digital transformation. This must be accompanied by a full awareness that high growth must rest on a foundation of macroeconomic stability and the safeguarding of major economic balances, that rapid development must be sustainable and aligned with social progress and equity, environmental protection, and improvements in people's living standards, and that strategic autonomy must be strengthened through consolidating national defense and security, enhancing the economy's self-reliance, self-sufficiency, and resilience, and proactively responding to external shocks and fluctuations.
That wraps up our updates on international economic integration. Up next, let's move on to a brief look at global and domestic economic market trends.
Vietnam-Japan trade surpasses 50 billion USD for first time. In 2025, Vietnam-Japan trade surpassed 50 billion USD for the first time, reaching 51.43 billion USD, up 11.28% year-on-year, reaffirming Japan as one of Vietnam's most stable and important trading partners amid global economic uncertainty. According to Vietnam Customs, Vietnam exported 26.77 billion USD to Japan, up 8.77%, while imports reached 22.68 billion USD, up 14.13%, resulting in a trade surplus of 2.09 billion USD. Key Vietnamese exports included textiles and garments, machinery, transport equipment, electronics, wood products, footwear, seafood, coffee, fruits, and cashew nuts. Pepper exports hit record high in 2025. Vietnam's pepper exports maintained strong momentum in late 2025, pushing total export turnover to a record 1.66 billion USD, the highest ever for the sector. In December alone, Vietnam exported 22,473 tons of pepper, earning 146.4 million USD, up more than 20% month-on-month and over 45% year-on-year in value, according to the Vietnam Pepper and Spice Association (VPSA). For the full year, pepper exports reached 247,482 tons, down slightly by 1.2% in volume but up 26% in value due to sharply higher prices. Average export prices rose more than 30%, reaching 6,607 USD per ton for black pepper and 8,629 USD for white pepper. Gia Lai Province steps up IUU crackdown with smart warning system. Gia Lai Province has stepped up efforts to combat illegal, unreported and unregulated IUU fishing by deploying a smart warning system and tightening management of its fishing fleet, in line with government directives to remove the European Commission's yellow card on Vietnamese seafood. As of January 6, the province had 5,744 registered fishing vessels, all fully updated on the VN Fish-based system, with 100% of active vessels holding valid licenses. Unqualified vessels are strictly managed at local level, required to anchor at designated locations and prohibited from going to sea. The province has completed all 19 tasks assigned by the Prime Minister on IUU prevention and continues to prioritize strict fleet control, port management, and interagency coordination to meet EC requirements.
These were the key highlights of the past week. Thank you for following the weekly economic highlights. We look forward to welcoming you in the next edition with the latest analysis and updates on Vietnam's markets, businesses, and economic trends. Goodbye and see you again in our upcoming news editions.